If you are an expert in any field, then pay attention. In this digital age, in this age where social media is so powerful, online platforms are so powerful, one thing that an expert in any field one thing that an expert in any field must not ignore is the digital space. And I have been talking a lot about different things that experts should be doing as far as the digital space is concerned. And I started these things intentionally talking about these things like, 6 years ago in large scale, right? Especially for people across the African continent. If you are an expert in anything that you do, one thing you cannot ignore in this digital driven age and time is understanding the role that the digital space or different online platforms can play in whatever you do. But today I want to share with you a very important foundation. I want to share with you two things you must get right. From my perspective, two things you must get right as an expert in this digital space. These are foundational things, and they are so foundational but very critical that if you miss out, they can affect how you serve people, how people discover you, and how you get paid as a professional and as an expert in this digital space that we are in. This is important. You see, I began my training, consulting, and coaching career about 15 years ago in a semi-urban town known as Kumbu in the northwest region of Cameroon. This is for those who are not in Cameroon, right? And my journey to speaking and training and consulting and all of these things started that time. And at that time in Kumbu, internet access was not as it is today, nor was access to information, right? And over time, I have grown and I have traveled, I have walked and I have lived across global mega cities. I have lived in Dubai, I have lived in Washington, I've lived in Istanbul, Houston, different cities across the world, Johannesburg in South Africa, in Nairobi, Kenya, different cities that I've spent some time, a couple of weeks, some a couple of months, some a few years to do different work. And in these cities, in this dispensation, one thing I found in these cities are what you can call high tech, right? And massive access to information. Unlike where I am coming from years ago, where I had access to limited information and limited technology, right? So I have seen both ends. Coming from a place where I had access to very minimal technology and minimal access to information, then being in places where technology is so massive and information is so massive. And you may be listening to me, you are in the same spot basically. Maybe you're coming from a place where technology was not as massive or is not as massive as it's supposed to be, or you are in a place now where technology is so massive, right? But it is important to understand certain key things. I can tell you from first-hand experience that it is more difficult now to make meaningful connections than it used to be because of the digital space. Although the internet helps to, get access to a lot of people at the same time. For example, 15 years ago, if I wanted to do a speaking session or pass out information or train people even for free, train let's say 30 people for free, it would take me about 1 month or even plus more than that, just to invite people from different communities to come to my training hall or to come to where I was organizing the events. But now with with the right microphone, with the right laptop, with internet, even with my mobile phone, like what I'm doing right now, I can be able to reach hundreds of listeners and thousands of listeners in a few hours. You see, so a lot has changed because of the internet. At the same time, with all of these changes happening, many people can instead miss out instead of benefiting from this change. You see, we are in a generation where, despite the fact that many people are highly connected, people are still craving for meaningful connections, right? I even believe that some Gen Zs and especially Gen Alpha, who have entirely been born in the 21st century, do not even know what genuine, meaningful human connections mean, right? People born into the internet age, and most parents babysit them with their TVs, with their TV programs and games on their iPad and tech in general, right? That's how they are babysitted. Unlike many of us that we grew up where when we are done in school, before we just to leave school and get home would take us about 3 hours. We're going to play soccer, we're going to play hide and seek, we'll do all types of games before we get home. And in our days, there was no TV per se or no games to play in-house, so we were forced to play outside, and that's how every single day we were making new friends. Till now, I still have a lot of meaningful relationships because of the quality of friendships that we establish in secondary school, in high school, and even in the university, right? So a lot has shifted when it comes to establishing meaningful connections and relationships. I'm taking us somewhere. Follow me. Here's what I'm saying. I believe that any expert in this dispensation who will create meaningful change in the lives of people, because one of the things that makes you an expert is your ability to create meaningful change. That's what experts do, right? So I believe that any expert in this dispensation who will create meaningful change in the lives of people must know how to build and maintain meaningful relationships. And there are two things that we should be doing in this highly digital driven dispensation when it comes to building and maintaining meaningful relationships with the people we have been called to serve as experts in different industries. Number one, give people the opportunity to connect with you. In this dispensation, knowing how to give people the opportunity to connect with you is very powerful. You see, what I mean is break down barriers as much as you can. Instead of, let's say, using too many apps, imagine having a system where you can step in and offer coffee and a physical meeting, right? Give people the opportunity to connect with you and be proactive in connecting with them. This should be done from the place of intentionality. For example, what am I saying? For many experts right now, they have a lot of automated messages that reply to people. That will not lead to meaningful relationships that can lead to transformation. Am I saying that you should not have those kinds of tools that can enable you to serve people efficiently? No. What I am saying is, in all of that, make sure that you are intentional and you have created and you have established systems that give people the opportunity to connect with you so that you can serve them. Right? Be conscious about that. Be conscious is a two-way thing. Give them the opportunity to connect with you and be proactive in connecting with them. For example, one of the things I do a lot is I do write a lot I do, with podcasts like this and YouTube channel and different things, I create time intentionally to make sure I reply to all comments personally, right? That way, I'm creating that structure where I am connecting with the audience and the audience can connect with me, right? At the same time, I always create a framework that can enable people to reach out to you directly. It could be a particular email, a particular phone number. These things are important. Don't make it so difficult for people to reach out to you. You will not be able to build meaningful relationships, right? And this is why a lot of people, I met a very successful business person who has 4 PAs, 4 personal assistants. And he says the goal is I just want to make sure that I have better structures that, the people I am called to serve, they can always get that incredible opportunity to really genuinely connect with me. This is very important in this tech driven society. Number two, number two, the second thing I encourage experts to do in this dispensation is give people genuine human experiences. Give people genuine human experience solutions. You know, we're in a world where technology is basically taking over everything, right? Especially in this AI driven dispensation. Technology wants to take over every single thing. So at some point, people are getting bored of being too techy, especially people right now in developed worlds, in Canada, in the United States, in the UK, in Germany, in China, in Japan, in South Korea, in Australia, all of these highly developed countries, a lot is tech. I have met so many people in different countries that they run a business that makes almost $1 million in sales every month, but that business has only 2 employees. The rest of the task from your communication to the end of your delivery, you are talking to robots. I have made a website development company that from the beginning of your communication to the delivery of your website, everything is done by robots, chatbots, done by technology. Every single thing, right? So, but people are getting, I don't know if it's anxiety, but something is happening in the human behavior of a lot of people, and they are shifting away from techie environments to environments where they can enjoy human experiences. So, as you are integrating technology in what you're building, be conscious of intentionally maintaining areas in your operations where you give people these genuine human experience driven solutions. I call it empathize solutions, where you empathize as a human with another human to serve another human being, right? Going on ChatGPT, for example, and asking for a solution and talking with a fellow human to get the same solutions from someone who has walked that path or who has experienced what you're experiencing is totally different and more powerful than talking to a chatbot, right? So it is important. For example, you know that there are AI apps right now that can do your consultation. You're having headaches or certain feelings, you describe to that AI, and that AI even has a camera. There's a way that they have integrated your phone camera and all of that, and that AI can do your consultation from start to end. But it's not the same feeling like talking with a human doctor, right? So, what am I trying to say? As an expert, although the world is becoming very techy, one of the most prized and most expensive things will be human experiences and genuine human connections. So, as you are adapting technology and using technology to improve the value that you create, do not ignore the human perspective of that, because it is critical in whatever you are doing. Give people genuine human experience solutions. Okay? No matter how important technology is, human experiences will always be highly sought after and irreplaceable. Two questions you should be asking yourself as a roundup. Two questions I want to challenge you. Think on these two questions thoughtfully as an expert. Number one, how easy is it for people to connect with you? And how proactive are you in connecting with other people? Number two, what human experiences have you gone through as an expert in your life, in your field, that you can use that experience and share solutions with fellow humans? This will transform you. The questions again. Number one, how easy is it for people to connect with you? And how proactive are you in connecting with others? Number two, what human experiences have you gone through in your life and career and journey that you can use to build solutions and you can use to share solutions with fellow human beings? These two are very important. These are things that not only now, but they will remain important in the next 10 years and 20 years in this tech driven environment that we are in. Be conscious of them, adapt them, integrate with them. In all, what am I saying? I was talking to a group of experts and I said, companies of the future that will last are companies who will master how to bring the balance between technology and human experiences. A company that is too technology driven will struggle. A company that is still heavily depending on only humans will struggle. But companies that can balance these two factors, professionals, experts that can balance these two factors, will stand the test of time in this dispensation. My name is Dr. Javnyuy Joybert. It was good chatting with you. If you would like us to have more of this discussion, I do talk about things like this with different experts and different companies and leaders in different communities. Please do reach out to me. Leave me a comment. Send me a DM on any social media platform at Javnyuy Joybert, or go to joybert.com and you'll get my email. You can reach out to me. And of course, we will chit chat and of course exchange ideas and see how to keep building. Remember, you are rare, you are remarkable, and your dreams are possible. Jesus loves you. God bless you.